This is my mimicking modern technology. Friends hanging out.
So,
see this TikTok?
my gay friend tried to get a new cell phone plan. Apparently, Straight Talk doesn't want him. And we're canceled.
It's all right, we've been canceled like half a dozen times.
You can edit that, can't you?
Yes, but I usually don't.
Get him, loser. We're doing butt stuff. Oh, hold on.
Oh, you did wear it? So, Christmas was this last week. And for those of you... Well, whatever it was. Well, yeah, I guess... All right.
This is the word usage.
For those of you that are listening and not watching, his shirt is a UFO, and it says, "Get in, loser. We're doing butt stuff." It was too good to pass up because of the dozen times or so on the show that butt stuff has been referenced.
Well, didn't I... Dude.
It's like Amazon listens.
We were just thinking, this might be something you're interested in.
Butt
When have
stuff.
I ever talked about bust, Charlie?
God, all the time. That's right.
I don't like it when it's pointing straight up in my face like that.
You like it when it's over there? Oh, I mean, over there.
How come mine can't point down like yours? Mine doesn't want to go down. Mine wants to stay up.
You got to break it.
Hey, look at that. I figured it out. And they trust me to drive 18 wheels at 80,000 pounds. I can't even work a microphone.
What do you do with it? Where's the on switch? So, what the hell were we talking about prior to that? Oh, I remember what we were talking about. I can't talk about that. Not on air. They'll catch a bunch of shit.
So. I can... never mind.
Yeah, there's nothing you can.
No, you can't. And the name's Hank Fickface.
Well, it's a good thing that
We care about our viewers and don't want to get censored or canceled.
it's true. It's a good thing no one's spying on me.
Jeff Bezos. Oh, did you hear about Andrew Tate?
It's actually one of the top things I was going to talk about. So, Andrew Tate gets arrested.
Him and his brother
on
human trafficking charges.
Rape charges and human trafficking in Romania while they're in Romania. Here's the thing. Evidently, as I looked into it a little bit. In Romania, I guess the way it works, they were in Romania, but prior to that, when the allegations came out, the Romanian authorities needed some kind of proof that they were in Romania, which right off the bat, that was kind of odd because, well, if they flew in, evidently they flew into Romania, so they should be on a manifest.
Exactly.
So there shouldn't be any kind of, well, I need proof they're here. Well, it should be right on the manifest, but regardless. I guess in one of Andrew Tate's...
He's got the pizza box.
Delightful... his delightful videos, there's a pizza box. It's like, what is it, Jerry's or something like that?
I don't know.
But it's some specific chain in Romania where the authorities went, he's here, let's get him. So they go and get him. And this is where the people in the States or the United States and Romania is going to differ. In the United States, you need probable cause. In Romania, you just need allegation.
Yep.
Someone needs to be, they raped me, or they're trafficking me, or I mean someone else. And then they can arrest you. So that's what happened. The thing with Andrew Tate is he says some spicy things.
So put it to you this way, folks at home. Donald Trump to the political world is Andrew Tate to the social media world. Motherfucker just says some crazy shit.
Yeah.
He's always got a message behind it. But if you peel back...
Sometimes his message is pro-masculinity in a weird way. And then other times his message is, fuck you broads that don't like me. But yeah, I mean, technically there is always a message behind whatever he's saying.
Fuck you, broads. Butt stuff.
I mean, he's considered a misogynistic internet personality or influencer.
Yeah, but like the one comedian once said, it's all about delivery. There's a comedian. It's funny that you say it like that because there's a comedian out there that talks about, as you get older, certain things you do have different meanings. So he's in the store with his girlfriend, and he smacks her on the butt. Out of nowhere, this 6-year-old runs up. Yeah, what did she do? He goes, what do you mean? Well, she's a bad girl because she's spanked you. He goes, oh yeah, she's a bad girl. Yeah, I did. You got to punish her. He goes, I'm gonna punish her. And then he goes, at that moment, I realized me and this 6-year-old are talking about two completely different things. Here's the thing. He is very pro-masculinity. He's also very pro-feminism because he's all about women being he's all about women having the rights, women doing what they want to do. No one's stopping you from doing anything. But if you have an expectation of man should also be allowed to have an expectation of women. Men should be, if women can have an expectation upon a place, an expectation or like a guideline on what men should be like, men should be able to do the same thing about women. Now, very valid.
Which I've heard those videos of him talking.
Well, there's a lot of them. There's also a lot where he goes on rants talking about stories, beating up his buddies and shit like that. There's all kinds of crazy stories.
He's verbatim said he was going to move to the UK because the rape laws are more lenient there. See, that's where he gets himself in trouble. That's what I mean. Like, sometimes he says stuff, I'm like, yeah, I can get behind that. Other times he opens his mouth and be like, well, yeah, I like the UK because they're not so big on rape.
I want to make a joke, but I'm going to sound so bad. Well, I mean,
we're talking about Andrew Tate. You can always fall back on that. It's like, yeah, but guys, Andrew Tate. Oh, yeah, you're right. Fuck that guy.
So, I mean, he's probably right. I mean, because over there, I'm pretty sure you can just go shoot a random dude in the head. He raped that girl, so I shot him in the head. You guys didn't want to arrest him because he only...
You can't. There's not as many firearms over there, so you probably beat him with a billy club in the head. Is billy club still socially acceptable?
Well, let me ask you something.
Can I not call it billy? Do I have to call it like...
William Club?
Inanimate object club? Yeah, it's British. It's William.
What if... he says he wants to move to the UK because the rape laws... The laws on rape are much more lenient.
They did, yeah.
I wonder if it's because, like, what's their if you rape somebody, does that mean you have to go in front of a court and they allow somebody to rape you? I'm moving to UK because if I rape somebody, they're gonna rape me.
I'm getting a twofer from a toothless
male lot lizard.
Jeez Louise.
No, all jokes aside. Like, the guy does say some crazy shit. Some shit that, like, you're right. You can't really be like, whoa, buddy. Wait up, hold a minute. Something ain't right here.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
But the world, my biggest thing about it was, like, everybody went crazy.
Oh, I did. Even, like, someone who's, like, watched, I know a bunch of people that were, like, as soon as you say the name Andrew Tate, they're like, ugh. And
that's me.
Me, I'm just like, fuck ever.
No.
It's
I'm the person sitting on the sideline. Oh, they got pissed. Oh, they're all excited. Oh, they're happy. Oh, they're sad. I'm not sitting there throwing fuel on the fire. I just like watch people's reactions.
It is fun. But when it came out, I'm like, Andrew Tate. Me, I wouldn't say I was more pro Andrew Tate, but I was definitely pro some of his messages when it came to, because there's a weird thing going on in culture, especially like United States or Western culture anyway, this attack on masculinity, but it's under this guise of toxic masculinity, which they are attacking. I say they as in, I'm not even going to say left, it's just a large group. It's mostly women.
And men, women, doesn't matter. There's a movement.
Yeah, they're attacking masculinity. And it's not all women, but...
Well, that's why.
But what they do is they attack toxic masculinity, which, fine. But what they call toxic masculinity is there's a subgroup of this group that's throwing anything that's masculine.
Hold the door for a woman.
Yeah, anything that's masculine. Oh, you paid for a meal. You're treating them like second-class citizens.
You misogynistic fuck. Okay, you want to chip in half? No.
I thought I was being...
I almost let that slide.
But
I am Puerto Rican, so
if
it's
you
okay.
saw, if you saw the look he just gave me mid sentence, like, oh boy,
Almost excited.
you can say it. Remember,
I know.
We
I
went
can.
over that.
I can.
But I think it's because I'm Caucasian or whatever I am.
Yeah.
I'm minority Caucasian or whatever the hell I am. I think it's because there's Caucasianness on the show. You can't say it.
Yeah.
I think if the rule is if there's one white guy on the show, even if it's 50% white,
Yeah.
you can't say anything. Like nobody. It could be a panel of
Freaking white
18. That's not privilege. That's
You get to censor me on what I say because of your Caucasian. Half of your Caucasian. That's white privilege. That's white power.
yeah. You're making me shut up.
This is because I say random shit. It makes you laugh.
So
I mean,
So there's this
seriously
subgroup
stupid.
that's putting anything that's masculine
Oh,
in this
yeah.
group of toxic
Opening the car
masculinity.
door, please and thank you, paying for meals,
So I'm on. With that said, I'm on this.
getting her a towel to clean up after.
She,
That's what I'm talking about.
so I'm on this like when it comes to Andrew Tate, he says some things that are just straight masculine, but he also says things that are very toxic masculinity. And I'm not gonna lie, like there's sometimes I hear it, I'm like,
Well,
oh jeez.
good example. And it's not. This is the thing. This is another misconception about Andrew Tate. It's not just towards women. Like he.
Oh no, he rips apart like
has told
soy
stories-
boys and everything else.
No. He has told stories involving toxic masculinity towards his own male friends. Like there's one story he tells, and it's impressive. I get. So okay, the story goes: he's hooking up with this chick, starts dating her. This dude shows up. Yeah, it's my girl you stole. He's like, obviously, he looks at the guy and says, obviously, you're a pussy. You ain't nothing. Or she wouldn't have left you. That's toxic masculinity to another man. Which, well, no, it's not toxic masculinity. It's just, I don't know, law of nature. If you're not an adequate specimen, obviously, they're going to move on from you to the next. Which, that's
Right.
nature. That's nature. But then he talks about how this guy's like, all right, well, you got to, stop seeing her or let her go, whatever. I'm gonna come back with my friends. Because whatever, do what you gotta fucking do. The girl's staying here. I'm gonna bang her tonight. That's it. He's like, now I'm rubbing it into his face.
If you come, I'm banging you too. Oh,
So he
I'll be there.
leaves. This guy leaves.
Comes
now
back.
I might be butchering the story, but I'm trying to get the main key points.
Okay.
So the guy leaves, comes back with like 8 or 9 of his friends. They all got hammers or weapons or some shit. Andrew Tate walks
Or
out,
board games or something. I don't know what they're gonna do.
and they go, if you step forward, we're gonna kill you. So he steps forward, and the guy's like, "Oh shit!" Him and this guy and the other 8 or 9 friends that he brought are like, "Oh shit, this guy's
Damn it! Now we gotta kill him.
no." Now this guy's like calling us, like there's something wrong with this guy. Now all the while, Andrew Tate has a friend, a very close friend. He talks about him like he's a long-term friend, if I remember correctly. Known him for a while. Is supposed to have his back, ride or die, blood for whatever. So Andrew Tate talks about how his buddy, man, maybe you should say sorry before he could even finish that sentence. Turns around and knocks him out. Lays him out right there. Now, this was supposed to be his ride or die. This is the guy. It's 2 to it might have been 4 or 5 guys. I don't remember. There was definitely the odds were not in their favor. There was multiple guys with weapons.
Wait, so Tate knocked out his buddy?
Ready to fight, and literally beaten to the ground Andrew Tate and his best friend. And Tate turned around because his friend showed weakness. He sat there and said, you showed weakness. You just got... These guys were afraid for their lives because here's this guy with only one other buddy stepping up to the plate, ready to take on multiple men with weapons. But you showed the slightest bit of weakness. That gave them all the confidence in the world they needed to now follow through with what they
That just
planned.
seems like a wrestling storyline.
But it could have been a completely bullshit story, but coming from Andrew Tate, I mean, as crazy as some of the shit he says, sometimes I want to believe some of these stories. Now, right there, that's, like I said, I don't hate Andrew Tate. I like the guy. He's a great social personality. Would I love to sit down and talk to this guy one day? Hell yeah. I'd love to I'd love to have a conversation with this guy to see what he's about.
What if he calls you a UPS driver too?
Fine. I got a package I deliver right to his asshole. Butt stuff. No,
Not even late.
I'll pull it up with the UPS truck. Get in, loser. We're doing butt stuff.
Oh.
So, yeah, but right there, like, right there, that's, I get it in the hierarchy, in the animal instinct world. There is a hierarchy. There is a chain. There's alphas, there's betas, there's omegas in every species. Every species. I don't care what the fuck you want to say. Humans, whales, fucking bears, butterflies. There is a hierarchy. The biggest, the best, the prettiest gets to reproduce. The biggest, the fastest, the strongest, whatever. They take the lead. But in a world, in a species that has developed cognitive abilities, the cognitive thought, we have logic, we have rhyme, we have reason, we have all these things. Was it really necessary for you to step up to that level to another man? All you had to do was say, you know what? Get off my fucking property. I'm calling the cops. You get the fuck out of my life. I don't want you around me.
That's quite the extreme, though.
It's very...
Andrew Tate must just live life to the extreme. Everything in his life is extreme.
Extreme!
I will say this. He gives financial advice.
Oh, which is very smart.
I don't know. Sometimes I've heard his financial advice and be like, that's really fucking rocky. Because the image he puts across, he has a bunch of like models and shit and like all these cars.
Well, here's the thing though. Sorry to cut you off. It's funny that you say that because I've heard some of that. Whoa, buddy, that is like some extreme measures to go to. Like that is, there is like zero gain and almost 100% guaranteed loss. But when you dive into his like his advice and when you read back and you follow and you go through everything, this guy will sit there and tell you like, you take that risk.
See, I think
but only because you know you have that backup plan.
That's it. Well, see, there again, if you go with a lot of other financial gurus and entrepreneurs and stuff, most of them will tell you if you have a plan B, you are destined to fail your plan A. You should go into something without a plan B. Because if you have that kind of inclination in the back of your head where like, well, if this doesn't work, you've already set yourself up for some kind of failure. So the fact that
Donald Trump
and Andrew Tate... What was his plan B? Grab her by the pussy! On the way down.
Stormy Daniels. That was his plan B.
Anyway, going all the way back.
Sorry, go ahead, continue.
If, let's say, Andrew Tate is guilty.
Well, he's cleared.
Did they clear? I saw something about being cleared, but I read one article and it didn't clarify anything about being cleared.
So there's all this CCTV because they have 24-hour surveillance.
Okay.
They have phone records, text messages, eyewitnesses, and all this CCTV footage to validate and back up everything Andrew Tate and his brother, because his brother was thrown under the bus with him.
Okay. So I had a conversation yesterday about this whole thing. And at the time, what came out was it was like 2 hours after he had some Twitter beef with Greta Thunberg. Something about
I heard about that.
Yeah, and then suddenly he was arrested for human trafficking. So what had come out with the whole pizza box thing is it was only an allegation, and it ended up being a quote unquote hoax or a false charge. And I'm like, so like because the day before it's like, oh shit, he was arrested on human trafficking. A day later, like, oh, it's a false charge. So that's what ended up being is more or less a false charge.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if he ended up, and I'm, not for Andrew Tate's sake, but for the bigger picture here, I'm kind of sad that it was a false charge because I was hoping you know that if he got nabbed for human trafficking, the media would be all over it.
Oh, yeah.
Because we got to buckle down on human trafficking. And I would be 100% on top of that. Be like, throw the book at him. Torch this guy right after Ghislaine Maxwell's client list.
Which is still...
Because if they're going to rip this guy apart, well, we have a whole fucking bunch of clients and we don't know who's on there. And they're all involved in that. For sure. There's no false charge or anything. She's doing 20 years for it.
Yep.
She can't sell to nobody and do 20 years. Who's on the list? But it's a false charge. So that's still in limbo.
You know what the worst part about the whole story is? I mean, what does that open the door for? Just because of one pizza box, they were able to try to falsely accuse this guy of human trafficking. How many boxes? How many videos have you seen of pizza boxes opening and there's an extra big sausage in there?
Oh, jeez. And you know.
I didn't order this. Sexual harassment. Trafficker.
It won't fit in my mouth. He's a human trafficker. Where'd you come from?
That poor astronaut, Dr. Plumber.
Speaking of
pizza delivery guy.
What? The Dr. Plumber pizza delivery guy. What are you talking about?
Yeah, the one guy that's done all the... There's a TikTok. The kid ended up...
Delivery boy?
The kid ended up getting in trouble for it because the TikTok leaked. Well, it's not the TikTok. The TikTok didn't leak.
I was going to say, how do you leak
the TikTok? The narrative, the history behind the kid's presentation was explained to the academic facility within the school. So he puts on this presentation in the middle of school in the class, and somebody's like phone recording from their desk.
Right.
And it's all about, plans for the future. It's some assignment they had to do. So the guy was like, future plans, you could be a doctor, it shows a guy. You could be an astronaut, same guy. You could be a pizza delivery guy, same guy. You could be a race car driver. He lists like four more professions. It's all the same guy. It's a porn guy.
Awesome.
He said, you could do anything of these dreams. And people in the classroom were laughing. He was like, all right, come on, let's be serious.
That's brilliant.
And he's like, but if you just set your mind to it, you can do whatever you want. And it shows I believe it even shows his name, like who he really is. And nothing. Well, it was TikTok, dude. It went viral. And then eventually somebody went to the facility, the faculty, and said, hey, look.
Probably went to the superintendent. And
that guy's a porn star. How do you know?
I'm a subscriber.
What are you talking about? Pornhub's free. You didn't got to subscribe.
Oh, you don't? Son of a bitch.
I know.
So what happened to the kid?
Oh, I guess he just got an F.
What?
Yeah.
That whole story.
Even though he did a good presentation, I guess the project got canceled or some shit.
Project got canceled.
He was banned from social media. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Well, anyway. Yeah, so if Ghislaine Maxwell, if that all actually was true, and then the media jumped on it and then still ignored Ghislaine Maxwell, then you know that the media is just fucking full of shit.
Dude, you know that list.
Even though we already know that, but...
You know that list will never see the light of day.
It might in like 50 or 60 years.
Yeah, when they're all dead.
Yeah. Just like the JFK list.
Oh.
Which more of those papers came out.
Speaking of which... Of pedophiles, child molesters, and all that fun, happy horse shit.
Oh, Bohemian Grove?
Have you been seeing... Do you remember the show To Catch a Predator?
Yeah.
You know, that famous... Hi, I'm Chris Hansen. Have a seat over here.
Yeah.
Remember, you ever find out why that show got canceled?
You're fucking me. No. You're going to tell me that the host...
No, not the host.
I was hoping for that one.
That would have been... I'll see you after the episode.
What a plot twist.
No, so...
Thanks. You did all the work for me. Come home with me. I'll make sure you're safe.
They never saw the girl again.
That's fucked.
No, so...
Oh, you know what's sad, though, before we go any further? No matter what you say, it's just not going to be as good as what... It might be. All right, let's go.
We'll see, buddy.
Okay, so
what's the one state you would... If you had to throw a dart and you could hit it pinpoint, what's the one state you would put your money on any political official not being a child molester in?
Not being a child molester? Not being a child molester.
I'll give you 3 states. See if you nail the one.
Oregon, Montana, and Vermont.
Really?
Yeah.
That's... What? I'm curious.
Is that literally the 3?
No. Why? Why those 3 states? Why would you say any political official in those states would not be a child molester?
Mostly because honestly, without bullshitting you, I don't have an actual reason. It's just a gut feeling. Notice I didn't say any Republican state or like heavy blue, heavy red, because I just don't fucking trust any politician when it comes to that shit.
There was a Texas state official,
Shocker.
a political figure, who ended up committing suicide while the film and crew of To Catch a Predator was outside of his property with the police serving him a warrant.
This was a few years ago? I
To
think this is vaguely familiar.
to seize him and all of his stuff to catch him in the burden of proof. He ended up committing suicide.
That was that story's vaguely
I think it
familiar.
was a congressman, maybe. Hold
It
on.
might have been. It might very well have been. Because I know there was the story from 2015 or 17? I think it was 2015 of the 400 and some political affiliates or whatever, the political members in California that got caught in the human trafficking or child sex trafficking ring or something like that. 400 fucking members.
There we go. Okay. Lewis William Bill Conrad Jr. He was an assistant district attorney
He has
from
4
Texas.
fucking names.
Well, Bill for sure, but Lewis
Willie.
William Conrad
Willie.
Jr., the assistant district attorney from Texas.
So he hung himself
No,
while they were while they were outside his really.
the episode.
And they canceled the show.
Yep,
Yeah, I guess that'll do it.
they were starting to climb the ladder, starting to get into these
Yeah.
and get squashed.
Isn't that interesting?
The minute. Now, I will not condone any sexual act of nature in upon a minor.
No.
No, every person who does that should be. I'm sorry.
Off themselves. Unalive themselves, as you have to say in the internet.
Yeah, whatever. Either let somebody do it for them in a very malicious manner, or let them do it themselves. Let them unalive themselves.
Butt stuff.
But all the people, former military members, preachers, religious figures, town youth center leaders, all these people that had been on that show, caught, and rightfully so, sent to jail.
Right.
And the minute an assistant district attorney, someone with some political affiliation, is on the show, kills himself. I mean, how many? If you probably looked at the stats, I'll put money on it. A good percentage of all the people who aired on that show probably all unalived themselves. But the minute someone of that status does it, cancel the show.
That's what I mean. It's funny that suddenly they get into politics and then, we got to cancel the show because he offed himself.
Yep. And in the state of Texas,
Where capital punishment is.
where in the state of Texas, so because his wife,
You know what I think is
Go.
before we go further, just talking about capital punishment in Texas. You know what I think is funny about Texas, and even places like New York, where it's the complete opposite. Capital punishment's a thing in Texas, but they're anti-abortion, whereas in New York they're pro-abortion and anti-capital punishment. It's like you can kill here but not there, and then down there you can kill there but not here. It's like, listen, you can't fucking pick sides. This isn't a gray area. It's black and white. We're either going to have abortion and capital punishment, or no abortion and no capital punishment. One or the other.
what if you
Pick a side, people.
What if you could combine the two?
How would
Capital punishment, abortion.
capital?
You insert a dead embryo into a convict, and then you stick a quarter stick of dynamite up there and abort it.
The dynamite is brilliant. And then it turns into Old Faithful.
Oh,
Jeez
hold
Louise.
on, real quick. I want you to look at something.
Wow, that got dark.
This is going to be funny. There we go.
Anyway, I cut your idea off.
Hold on. Did I say that? Well, yes,
But actually, no.
but actually, no. I got another one for you really quick. I love these. That didn't work. That cactus looking on point. See, that's the best.
Memes. Memes are fantastic. This is 2 days in a row I've said this. Memes are incredible.
Dude.
They won Trump the election in 2016.
I'm just so glad that we saw the birth of memes in our generation.
Yeah.
That came from us.
Yeah.
That's something our generation can be proud of. The generation after us, Tide Pods.
That's kind of fucking sad, you know?
Compared to what I just said after us, our generation, memes. Generation after us, Tide Pods.
But it's just getting worse and worse and worse.
So we made the last
But that's like
positive
saying,
contribution to society.
I came in 18th place out of 20.
Oh, you didn't finish last.
Aim high, everybody.
I finished 12th. There was only 10 racers.
Oh.
Shut up.
I do the high jump. It's that far. Anyway,
Yeah, sorry.
your point you were making,
Um,
if you remember it.
Oh, so in Texas, you don't like the way. Okay, so in Texas, now don't quote me on this. I may be wrong, but in Texas, they can come up and arrest you while they with the proper with suspicion. They can't convict you. They can't jail you, but they can arrest you with
I
suspicion.
mean, detainment?
Yeah, they can detain you with suspicion. So, like, if you text me, hey, I really want to see your butthole. In Texas, I could call the cops, have you arrested for sexual assault, under suspicion of sexual assault. Now, they'll detain you. Then they'll come to me and say, hey, look, we got him. Let's see the proof. Nope, no proof. All right, we're letting him go. And then you walk free. I may be wrong, but his wife actually made a statement.
Yeah, it says reasonable suspicion, stop and detain someone. Under Texas law, reasonable suspicion has been defined by the courts. It is a lawful temporary detention or stop only if the police officer has reasonable suspicion to believe that an individual is violating the law and committing a crime.
Yeah. So, like, when they're trying to do a sting operation on some drug runners or some drug dealers, like
To me, that's like one step lower than probable cause.
in our dealers. Yeah, in our area, we've had busts
Right.
where cops have gone undercover, gotten all the evidence they need, and then made the arrest.
Right.
Well, there was the evidence of what was going on with the assistant district attorney, and then the police had reasonable suspicion that he intended to do something.
Right.
So they went to arrest him. They got the warrant, went to get him. He decided to suck start a shotgun or kickstart a landmine, whatever you want to call it. You like that? Kickstart a landmine?
Yeah, I do. I do like that one.
That's one for you guys.
Oh, jeez. I don't even know how I segue that one.
What's your next? I got you.
Actually, it was the first one. It was a CIA admission, or a member of the CIA admission to the JFK assassination. CIA being involved in the JFK assassination, which really isn't.
Surprising.
For conspiracy theorists, it's something they've all suspected for decades. But they just released a bunch more. So like 13,000 more.
Really? 13,000? Give me the Cliff Notes.
Seriously, when you like when the Pfizer document is dropped and shit like that, it's like, there's 75,000 pages. Like, oh, perfect, an easy weekend read.
So if 75,000 people read one page a piece, we'll be all right.
But they had a member. I think it was Tucker Carlson was talking about it when this first dropped, and he was.
I love Tucker. He is comical to watch.
He is because he's kind of a prick.
Yeah.
That's why he makes me smile. But he was talking about when they released the documents, he said that someone who was close to the material that was still redacted from the leftover documents, because I guess there's still like 5 or 6 files or something to that effect that are still redacted from whatever they're releasing. And he asked them, did the CIA, in fact, have something to do, or were they involved with the JFK assassination? And he said, yes, they were. Not a conspiracy theorist.
Well, during the whole... Well, that's just it.
Well, the question is how much... How deeply involved were they?
Was it something as minuscule as the white... what was it? Capitol. The March on the Capitol, January 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Was it something as little as they knew something might happen? Or was it, hey, we're going to pay your government to hire somebody to make it look like it was one of our people?
The government's always involved in stuff like that.
Oh,
What was that one recently attempt for kidnapping a senator or something like that in Chicago, I think it was, or Detroit? One of the other, I think it was Chicago. There was 16 people that were going to be involved in kidnapping this person. 14 of them were implants from, I don't know if it was the FBI or CIA. 14 of them were plants to get 2 of them for admission.
I saw... It's funny that you said Chicago. Lightfoot, right? That's her name?
Yeah.
Somebody.
Beetlejuice.
I saw one better. The Lord of the Rings Gollum. It shows Gollum when he's coming up. It's Mayor Lightfoot's face. Then there's one where it's Master, and it's Lightfoot. I was like, fuck me.
It's funny because it's true.
Chicago was her precious.
My precious. Chicago.
Oh, God.
That's a special lady.
The kind you don't bring home to mother.
Unless you store her in the closet. But then it might be like an under your bed monster.
The kid goes to bed.
She kind of looks like a character from that old Nickelodeon cartoon, Real Monsters.
Oh, God. She's
the one that holds the eyeballs.
You're Ickis was the red one.
Ickis was...
Ubelina
was the umbrella.
Was the umbrella.
I can't remember.
What's his name?
I don't know. But I just watched it like maybe a few weeks ago. I was like, oh shit, I remember this show. And I watched like the first or second episode.
Crumb.
Crumb?
Yep. Crumb. Oh my God, I'm looking at a picture of Crumb right now. Lightfoot.
If you don't know, do yourself a favor and just watch the show.
Could you ever stop to think, like, Ickis had his hands free?
Mm-hmm.
What did Crumb do when he wanted to,
He's got a mouth. He can put them in there. That's right. So hopefully it's not that crazy. He ends up biting down on his own eyeballs. Maybe he's got spares. Maybe those actually don't work. And it's all just...
Oh, like Pan's Labyrinth?
Yeah. How does that even work? And why do you have to put them to your face?
I know, right?
Actually, no, I don't think he did. I think there's part of it where he actually looks with it.
Yeah, he does.
Whatever it was. I can't remember what his...
Could you imagine what that guy is probably going through? That character from Pan's Labyrinth?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he probably lived his life by Donald Trump. Grab him by the pussy!
I see everything. You don't clean properly. Good thing it's just my eyes and not my nose.
Great, now I got pink eye. I reached too far back.
Don't hit it, it'll spread. Jesus, what the hell?
CIA involved in JFK. Why not surprised? Some form of involvement. Like I said, as little as knowing something might happen.
There's been so many conspiracies around the JFK thing. One, like the second shooter on the grassy knoll. Two, I think Jesse Ventura was talking about that because the shooter, what's his face?
Lee Harvey Oswald?
Yeah. He was a marksman, which in the military, marksman doesn't mean, it just means you're trained to use a rifle. It doesn't mean like a perfect shot or anything.
Yes and no.
And there's two.
There's degrees of marksman. But in order to become a marksman, you do have to have some sort of an efficiency rating.
To handle the the firearm. They had on, remember Jesse Ventura's old show, Conspiracy Theory? Or Conspiracy Theorist, whatever it was, back in like the 2010, 11, something like that.
The preteens.
They had a expert come on the show and use the firearm that he used, that he allegedly used. And the expert could not get off the amount of shots that was required to get off to, what was it, like 7 shots or something like that. To in the time frame to mimic what was shot off. Yeah. In 63. So judging by that, like Ventura's conclusion was there's no way one guy got all the shots off. Now, another conspiracy was when they're right before the initial shot, members of the CIA, the Secret Service that was in the limo with were already ducking down.
Yeah.
After the first shot had gone off, the driver had slowed down to 7 miles an hour. After he looked back, when the first shot went off, he looks back, slows down to 7 miles an hour, and then the second shot goes off. He gets hit, or whatever shot goes off, he gets hit, and then they take off. And that's when you see Jackie lean Kennedy over and
try to cover her husband.
Yeah. And then there's like the magic bullet where it ricochets off all the bones in his body and like goes out and like, the crazy, maybe not, I don't know.
Well, if it's one thing that we can take from the JFK assassination, it's the good old sex move, the Kennedy. It's where you splatter all over her face and she tries to escape out of the car.
Back and to the left.
Good president though. In all seriousness,
he was going after the mob.
Oh yeah, and during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah, that too.
He had a lot on his plate.
What was it? Operation Northwoods. That's the one where they wanted to stage an attack on Fidel to make it look like that Castro was, or they wanted to stage an attack against U.S. citizens.
To
make it look like Fidel was attacking the U.S.
to
give
Cuba.
them a reason to give them. I think to give them a reason to actually engage Russia because Russia was siding with
Cuba.
They
were giving them missiles. The Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah. And then I guess the CIA or the government anyway asked the mob to actually do the hit on Fidel, and the mob refused it. There's a book out there. I'll have to ask my uncle what it's called, but the mob. He was talking to me about this. The mob said they wouldn't do the hit because they knew they weren't going to be able to get back out of there. So they tried poison, and then poison, I guess, failed. So there's a lot of spicy bullshit.
And you know what's sad?
So that
there is no more mafia, obviously, but there isn't. But back in those days when mobsters and gangsters and organized crime,
they're just all in the politics now.
Yeah, that's a new mob.
I mean,
the new mob,
really,
the modern day mafia.
The more shit that comes out, you're like,
that wasn't the first time the government literally put its hand into organized crime's pocket.
No, and it wouldn't be the last either.
And now,
it's still not the last. Look at MK Ultra. I mean, that's not even them putting their hand in the crime, like crime syndicate pocket or anything like that. That's them just fucking outright performing a crime. That's the one where they were doing all like the acid trips on specific people.
Doing
like
the research, the studies, to observe them and shit.
That's another. I don't want to say conspiracy theory, but another. Theory comes out of Charles Manson was a product of that because he was in and out of jail so many times for like heinous things before he was like finally just put in jail altogether, and he was out of his fucking mind, brilliantly out of his mind. The way he was in prison for more than half his life, and he had society just down to a T from behind bars. But he apparently was a product of MK Ultra.
Nice.
So the fact that the government like.
So that's why it's safe to say there's no more organized crime, like mafia, anymore. Because
I'm not willing to say that 100%. I'm really not. I don't think there's anything like there was back in the 30s. No.
No, there's not. It's the whole fucking... Because when you call... Okay, so here's why. This is why there's no more mafia. And hear me out. You come out with a great product. Everybody wants it. They come to you, right? Because you invented the water bottle. You're making billions because you're the only one who does it. Or you do it the best. Well, then all of a sudden, there's 20 other companies doing the same thing. Puts little old you out of business. Because now they've undercut you so bad, you've gotten to the point where you're not making any more money because you're trying to compete, let alone. So pull out, get out while you still can, while there's no way for you to get nailed to the wall and suffer any loss. Get out. End it. That's why there's no such thing. That's why there's no more mafia. Because the mafia, they got people thinking, oh, there's still the mafia. The mafia's still real. No, it's not. They got you thinking that. And they sit back and watch you chase all these old stories.
But that's what I just said. I don't think it's the old mafia.
No.
You don't think that people that have immense amount of power just, we're done. Hasn't Star Wars taught you anything?
Well,
don't you think they would just reform what they're doing?
You mean to tell me, you're going to sit there and tell me that you genuinely believe that while the getting's good, before it goes down, you don't jump ship? You're going to stay in there the whole time. You're going to ride that boat the whole way down.
Has anybody in the United States politics jumped ship right now?
Nancy Pelosi. Am I right? She got out.
She just got out of public eye. She's still in power. Well, a great public eye. She's still...
No, that's just it, though. With everything, with all the competition, you know, the triads, MS-13, the Russian mafia, the Irish mafia, all these different mafia, all these different organized crime associations. Everybody finally getting a foot on American soil. You mean to tell me, with all the money, all the stuff the mafia made, they didn't stop and go, you know what? Let's let them do everything. Let's let them do that. Let's get out. Let's get out. Let's get out. There's no more proof. There's no more families going down. Because at the height of it, at the height of organized crime, you didn't know how deep that shit went. Like, there were police officers, there were government officials, everybody getting linked, tied, everybody going down, family massacres, all of this stuff. What better way to get away from it and not suffer loss than to just step back and say, good, we're done.
Admirable, but I don't think so. I think once you're in crime, you're always in crime. I firmly believe that all they did was basically watered down. They rebranded themselves. They went into politics. They went into big business. And that's where we're at right now.
So, okay. I get you. Okay.
It's
water it down, rebrand it, and put it out to the public as something new.
It's the same thing as...
So then, we're both right. There is no more mafia.
No, that's what I said from the beginning, though. It's not it's not from the 30s. It's not some crime boss in a pinstripe suit and be like, see? It ain't that bullshit. Now it's people like all conspiracy theorists, and
we're not.
It's a large,
you know
not even conspiracy theorists. It's a large amount of the population now. Is like there's an elite group of people, not even politics, just an elite group that's running the fucking show.
Two things. One,
but it's no longer. It's the Chicago and New York City and that. Now it's fucking global.
Two things. Because you said something that made me strike something. You said it's very noble. Well, that's just it though. The Italian mafia. Do you know how it started?
Because they were defending all the
Italian
Italians
coming off the boat.
Same thing with the Irish.
They were literally just groups of Italians that were in America, literally stopping people from walking up and shooting Italians and pushing them off, which is funny.
I don't think that's funny at all.
Was it Hoover? Herbert Hoover, the president?
Right.
Who made the comment that the worst problem, black people, no offense, I'm not trying to measure dicks here, but no president has ever said what he said. about any other race. He went on record to say the problem with America, the problem
no
with the
president
world,
has said it on record.
yeah, okay.
At least in the last 120 years.
No president has went on record to say that the problem with America, no, the problem with the world was Italians. Not the blacks, not the Jews, not the Hispanics, not the whites. It was the Italians.
Damn.
You know you did something right when you have a president saying your race is the worst race.
I'm Italian. You're more Italian.
Half and half, baby.
I'm only third. I'm all right.
Half Spanish, half Italian, folks.
I didn't know that before, but no,
Take pride.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think they
But that was it. Really quick, two things. One, the noble thing. It was all, and that's it though. That's another thing that goes in turn with point one. All about the honor. You know, as grimy as crime can get, that was one thing above all else that the Italian organized crime stuck to was honor. Didn't matter who you made a deal with. You made a deal with the devil, you honored it. You made a deal with Jesus, you honored it. So when you said very noble
stuff, you honor it.
Hey, Louie, I'm here for the thaw salad. All right. Wow, that went wider than I thought.
You've done this before, haven't you?
And number two, you're right. I will look at Epstein. A self-inflicted gunshot wound when it was proven.
Hanging. He was hanging.
Oh, who was the one? Who was the one that was the one involved with Hillary Clinton? Was shot in the back of the head.
Yeah,
it was a self-inflicted gun wound, but there was no physical possible way for him to hold the gun to the back of his own head and shoot that angle.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of shit. We talked about that before a while ago. There was
organized crime. You're right.
Well, he hung himself, I think, with an extension cord and shot himself at the same time.
Wow, he was trying to go for the carrot.
It was. There was two. It was two of them. He hung himself with an extension cord and shot himself with a shotgun.
It's not working.
Better.
Going to hell.
Yeah. Well, how the hell we get on that?
CIA involved. Mafia, pants pockets. Next.
Yeah, anyway. So, speaking of, there's a hard segue.
Fuck it.
Damar Hamlin.
Oh, dude.
You see that?
Yeah.
The hit didn't even look that bad.
No. A lot of people are like,
before you go further, it's Damar Hamlin. If anybody doesn't know, I don't know how you don't know now, but during the what game was it?
It was Steeler. No,
it was Buffalo and Colts. Wasn't
Colt.
it?
No, Bengals. Wait.
Yeah, it's Cincinnati. Yeah.
Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah. Colts Bills game.
This is like 90 minutes into the game, and he got hit in the chest. It was just a pretty routine play.
Yeah.
And he went down, popped back up, and then immediately
took a step.
Yeah, went right back down, flat on his back from cardiac arrest. And they did CPR for 28 minutes, I think.
No, they did CPR for 9 minutes.
It was 9 minutes. It was 28 minutes on the field before the ambulance got there.
Yeah.
And
something like that.
It was within 45 or 48 minutes they had him at the hospital. He was in a medically induced coma.
Yep.
And they actually transported him on ice just to hold him. I guess he's doing all right now.
Good.
He's still
probably critical.
Signs of improvement while still in ICU in critical condition.
Yeah.
After mid-game cardiac arrest. 24 years old, cardiac arrest. Jeez.
Well, so there's a theory behind it. I read it and I'm like, oh shit, when you actually look it up, it's creepy. The skip-a-beat syndrome, or what did it call? Fuck. I don't know.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so basically, you right now can literally pound on your chest hard enough to cause your heart to skip a beat.
Right.
Which could send your heart into defib, or AFib.
Yeah.
Which could cause cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
So, they're saying when his heart did that, and his body was so adrenaline because of the hit, experts have reviewed it and said it was a clean hit.
Right.
It wasn't malicious.
No,
it
it
wasn't
was-
a helmet to the chest. No, it was a shoulder pad to sternum, which is 95% of all tackles. So they said it was a clean hit. So a lot of people have been talking about it, and they're suspecting that's what happened. Which, when you stop and think about it, makes sense because he pops right up, but at that point his heart's already like stopped.
Yeah.
It's like, I need to be reset, and then he collapsed.
Yeah. I guess he's on a ventilator right now to relieve strain from his lungs, which were damaged.
But yeah, 24 years old.
Yeah, they said it's
his
still,
career is probably over.
probably. Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, this is
But
true.
it is still unclear what led to the cardiac arrest.
Something I was talking to somebody about made me raise an eyebrow, like, wow, that's fucked. Did you know that like 15% of all disability claims or only about 15% end up getting full approved? I think was the number I was told. I might be wrong. The NFL, it's fractioned, because what the NFL has done and still does is you could be a professional running back for the San Francisco 49ers.
Right.
You suffer an
Talk
ACL
about
tear.
squeak out a win last Sunday.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You 37-34, I know, right? 12-4 though. We're going. Hopefully to the playoff game.
Oh yeah, they clinched.
I know. So you suffer an ACL tear. Ruins your career. You can't even walk on that leg anymore properly. A normal doctor could sit there and grant you full disability, approve you for full disability. The NFL has their own doctors on staff that will review and mostly always overturn and refuse.
This sounds like the doctors for pro wrestling, or at least WWE specifically.
Yeah.
How they the one infection that CM Punk had. Now, granted, CM Punk's kind of a bitch, but he had an infection that it was. I guess it got really bad, and the doctors in WWE were like, "It's staph infection. You'll be fine. Just do whatever."
Oh,
and
yeah,
they
I
kept
remember
denying, and they're notorious for doing that, just kind of pushing it off. Well, then all that came out, and then plus the concussion protocol came out, and they like flip of a switch went really stingy. Kind of the same thing where there was a bunch of Daniel Bryan specifically and Edge. They had their concussion protocol, and they had actually, I think, nerve damage or something in their neck. And they said if either of them got a concussion again, they could completely end their career. And I think it might have been both their cases, but I think in Edge's case, it could have ended his life. Well, there's a bunch of these unorthodox rehabilitation treatments and things like that they both went to. And after, I think Daniel Bryan was like 4 years or 5 years, he came back. He was cleared by their doctors, and Edge was like 7 years, and he ended up coming back. They both worked a little bit lighter schedule, but watching them both take bumps, especially Daniel Bryan, because he's just kind of like relentless, and every time he hits and lands on the mat, I'm like, oh no, like,
Please get up.
yeah, like you just,
oh thank God.
but yeah, going back to WWE, their doctors for the longest time are notoriously just awful. It almost the way the stories I've heard, it makes it seem like their doctors were the back alley, walk by in a dripping alley, like, what the hell? It's like, hey, you need a doctor. I got pills. There's like an aspirin, a Vicodin, a Skittle, and like,
Is
what
that
do you
a
need?
cashew? No, that's Xanax.
Yeah, whatever. That's what a lot of people made it sound like.
Oh, dude, and it's.
But yeah, that's not surprising. It's really not surprising.
Organized crime. Because you got these medical professionals that, for the sake of the business, are basically pushing these people out the door saying, no, you're good to go.
Another example, not doctors, but just contracts in WWE, they're all contracted as, they're, what do they call them? They are...
Free agents?
No, they don't. What the hell is the name for it? They are
At will. I'm just
their
thinking.
their contracts make it so they can't like have a
A union.
not so much a union, but like healthcare or anything like that. They're independent contracted or something like that. I think it's independent contracts they have. So there's like no healthcare, there's no retirement, anything like that.
Oh yeah,
That's the way they do it.
So
But
the NFL.
the thing with with independent contracts is normally if you have an independent contract with a company, you can still work for other companies, like go
Yeah.
here and go there. But the clauses in their contracts is as an independent contract, but you can't go wrestle for AEW. You can't go wrestle for CZW or whatever the hell. And even Indy, technically they couldn't go and wrestle for ICW around the Mohawk Valley.
Oh, Jesus.
Just this hole in the wall, small fucking
Yeah.
indie fed. They couldn't do it. But you'd think under those kind of conditions, well, that is an exclusive contract for WWE. There should be a bunch of liability. There should be a bunch of insurance. There should be all that kind of stuff. But there's not. It's all independent contracts.
Jesus.
But going again with the whole, mob and crime, whatever. That's technically it's not a crime. It's legal what they're doing. But
They just found the loopholes.
same thing as Trump.
Enough lawyers.
And Trump and all Hillary's buddies, the way he put it. It was like, this is how... That was another thing. They released Trump's...
Taxes.
Taxes.
Comes to find out he had paid everything he owed.
Yeah, everything he owed. And and what he said in 2015, during the lead up to the 2016 election, he's like, I use all the legal loopholes that all Hillary and Obama's friends use. He says, you want to change it, you want me to pay more, then change those. He goes, I know they won't, because then they'll have to pay more. Mm-hmm. And they're not going to do that to their friends.
I remember that.
Yeah.
He even made the comment, all your friends, all the ones who donated the money, they're all here right now. And she's just,
Yeah.
I wish I gained 50 more pounds so Bill would be attracted to me.
Yeah, so that was, they released all those tax records. So I'm like, when they do that, I'm like, this is either going to be spicy. This is going to be spicy either way.
Oh, yeah.
So either it's going to be, they got shit. It's like, fuck, Trump is an asshole. He is a crook. Or what ended up happening, he did everything legally. Fuck. Everyone on the left is like, fuck, thought I had him.
Gotcha, bitch. Nope. God damn it.
He's like
Try again tomorrow.
The elusive white rabbit they keep chasing further down that hole.
Oh, my God. They're chasing the dragon at this point.
They're chasing the orange rabbit down the hole. Yeah, the orange fucking unidragon corn.
You mean the unicorn like that guy saw in the back of his yard?
That's right. That's Trump's unicorn. Inside joke.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
Yeah. But it's weird. Yeah, so they released that, and
Yeah.
he didn't do anything wrong.
Nope.
But anyway, yeah, going back, so I guess Damar is his name, I think, or Damar.
Damar.
I guess he's doing better.
Yeah,
Like I said, he's
crossed,
still
man.
on the ventilator. Yeah, but like I said, stranger things that happen. What's the quarterback from fucking Dolphins? Who it was like week 4 or 5. Remember when he got hit and he had that like nasty stinger? Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, his career's over. And then he was back the next week.
And his hands like he locked up.
Yeah, like that was a nasty stinger. Like nasty stinger. Like it would actually look like that looks less stinger and it looks more complete nerve, just straight damage. But I guess the way it ended up being anyway, that was just like he got hit and the nerves locked up and then just kind of lucky him.
We've all cramped up mid something. Oh God! And your legs locked in that position. Like
It happens to me a lot.
Oh God! Rub it out. Rub it out.
Thank you.
Oh, you're making the cramp go away. But I'm feeling more stiff. Keep going.
Keep rubbing it out. Yeah, I think that's all I had for that. You derailed my train of thought there.
We go from Damar Hill.
There was a rumor
jerking off. Okay.
Fuck. There was a rumor a few weeks back that Elon Musk, when he makes all of his not big decisions, he puts a lot of polls up on Twitter and lets everyone kind of decide. Well, he put one up It was whether or not he should step down as CEO of Twitter, and 57% said he should. So he said, I guess he said something about he was going to. Well, I heard that. I'm like, oh, that should be interesting. And then immediately there was a headline on Twitter, I think it was. It said, Elon is to step down as Twitter CEO, and in his place, Donald Trump Jr. Yeah. I was like, whoa! I was like, that's one where you read it, and then you go, I can hear the left. Oh, pitchforks. They're burning villages.
Wow.
That ended up being a rumor. And I was like, yeah, that's the same reaction I had. I'm like, oh, like I don't even care about like
so close to finishing, and then you just
that would be
blueballed me.
Such that would have been such a thug move.
Oh my
Like,
god!
all right, yeah, fine. I'll just let Trump's son take it and run it. I mean, he'd own it, but
you. I don't know if you have this in there, but speaking of Trump, you hear anything about him and the House?
No.
There
Has it been the last couple days? Because the last couple days I've been busy. I haven't.
There was some rumors flying.
Things on ground news.
How there's talks of trying to get Donald J. Trump.
Oh, and the Speaker of the House?
As the Speaker of the House.
I mean, you technically, I guess, could. I don't.
He could do that and then still become president.
Yeah, he would have to. He would have to impeach Biden, Harris, and. No, I think that would be it. I think he'd be third in line.
Yep.
Biden and Harris, and then he would actually be acting
Yeah,
president.
because it was if Biden went and Kamala went, then Pelosi was looking at being our president.
Yeah, that's right.
So he could.
I highly doubt that. Speaking of the Speaker of the House, though, you see the McCarthy thing?
Oh, yeah.
It was up to 4. I was reading when you walked in. That was one of the things I was reading.
I heard it.
Well, that I was listening to Tim Pool. That was from last night, the show. But I was reading, because they were obviously, last night's show, there's 24 hours behind, but I was reading an article that was put out 30 minutes before you got here. And they had 6 votes, and all of them, McCarthy was short on being Speaker of the House, which there's a lot of conservatives and Republicans going, we can't get Speaker. What that shows me is that MAGA Republicans are pretty much giving a big fuck you to the Republican Party and be like, I don't want your establishment bullshit in the fucking Speaker of the House, because you're just going to fall in line with everybody else, which is interesting. And when he was first being voted, he was short by I think 5 votes or something like that, or he
it was
needed
very low
5
number.
votes, and then by the third one he was short by like 8 votes. Like he was losing votes every time he'd go up. I was like, we're not going to have a Speaker of the House.
Well, what about this Jim Jordan guy?
So let's say that was like a random out of left field.
Yeah, they're pushing for him now too.
So that's probably the kind of the rogue Republicans. The whole House right now is in disarray. I mean, there's people on Twitter, there's leftists on Twitter, and be like, the Republicans are in disarray. I'm like, all right, step out of that little box for a second. Let's just look at the whole picture. It's like the whole fucking scene is chaos right now.
Yeah, it is.
It's fun to watch, but at the same time, like, wow.
It's the new WWE. It's the Attitude Era.
We are operating with no fucking leaders. Like, we're in the back of the car and nobody's driving. Somehow we're staying on the road.
Oh, man. You know, speaking of being in a car.
That was a joke I saw. I think it was on Whose Line Is It Anyway? It's like one-liners that and like said at the most inappropriate times. Like someone on a plane, like, I should really be in the cockpit. But that's where we're at right now. We're all sitting in the back of the plane. There's a guy that's dressed nice up there. It's like, well, who are you? I'm like, I should be in the cockpit.
I'm the pilot. I should be flying this thing. No,
Biden eat his ice cream cone.
That reminds me of a joke. When I die, I want to pass away like my grandfather. Peaceful, sleeping, peaceful, quiet. Not screaming like the other bitches, the rest of the bitches in the car he was driving. I want to be Speaker of that. I want to be Speaker of that.
You realize we're all the bitches screaming at the back of the car. Fuck me! That's what we do every time on the show. We're the bitches in the back. Oh my God, we're gonna die.
What are you talking about? Oh, fuck no. I want to see where this goes.
Actually, no. Honestly, if there was any analogy to explain us on this show, and probably a lot of shows like this, on any level, big, small, we're all pretty much Ralph. I'm in danger. That's pretty much where we're all at. Because look at, we're fucking talking about like the demise of our nation, like we're all gonna die.
What's other things he says? I'm in danger.
I bet my Wookiee.
I got a cookie. Or some shit. Gas prices went down. Gas prices went down. But I'm still in danger. I don't fucking know.
It's, yeah.
I don't do his voice very well at all. Fuck you guys for judging me.
Here's one that I got a little while ago. The ist words.
Ist.
Did you look it up?
No. I've heard there's some...
American grandfather, brave, and master. Words Stanford University includes in its index of harmful language because they are ableist, ageist, or racist. I'll read the first couple paragraphs, and I'm going to jump down to the actual list because it's fun. It said Stanford University has published an index of harmful language that it wants to eliminate because of terms like are ableist, ageist, or racist, including the word American, as it calls for U.S. citizen to be used instead. The university revealed the plan in May and wants to remove the words from its IT systems and websites, with grandfather, brave, and master also on the list. The elimination of harmful language initiative will also aim to educate people about the impact of racist, violent, and biased words have.
So what would you call your grandfather?
Old. Actually,
previous generation elderly person?
Technically deceased. Okay, so here we are. Suggestions include changing immigrant to a person who has immigrated, and prisoner to person who is or was incarcerated, in order to not define someone by a singular characteristic. Okay, some of the words considered harmful, from grandfather to brave. Here we are. You ready? I'm going to go through all these.
I'm going to try to use this all in one sentence, too.
It's going to be fun. Original, walk-in. Swap for drop-in or open office. Reason? Ableist language that trivializes the experiences of people living with disabilities.
I'm going to walk into a fucking wall because...
I'm going to try not to laugh after each one of these, but it's probably not going to work. All right, ready? Original, grandfather. Swap for legacy. Reason? Which, I'm not going to lie, if I was a grandfather, it's like, we're going to call you a legacy. I'm like, fucking right. I am a legacy. But, I digress. Reason. This term has its roots in the grandfather clause adopted by the southern states to deny voting rights to blacks. Because the word grandfather never existed until then, but... Original. Guru. The swap?
So wait, hold on, before you go too far.
All right.
You're telling me none of these words could possibly be grandfathered in?
No.
Okay. Sorry.
Not anymore. Not
I'm
according
walk into a wall because none of this is going to be grandfathered into the next generation.
Guru. Swap. Guru for expert, subject matter expert, primary, leader, teacher, or guide. Reason? In the Buddhist and Hindu traditions, the word is a sign of respect. Using it casually negates its original value.
What do you call... Okay. Question. All right. Holy fuck.
If I am, which I'm not, but I do leathercraft. If I say, or even if someone else calls me, oh, you're like a leather guru, wouldn't you... That's a fucking term. That's a compliment, right?
Yeah.
If I go to Charlie, you're like a fucking video game guru. And you're like, fucking right I am.
In my opinion...
Because in your head...
You'd be putting me on a level above the rest.
Right. That's right.
What a guru strives for.
Hey, but you're like a guru. It's like, fuck you, I am. But hey.
And whatever happened to all those other terms? You're definitely an expert leathercrafter. Why do I have to use guru? I will use all of those words. You won't see me in my day-to-day fucking speech with anybody refer to anybody as a guru. Honestly. When the fuck does that term come into our conversations ever?
Very, very rarely.
The boot, you know,
Other than right now in this.
You talk about, honestly.
It's
oh my
maybe
God.
a handful of times a year, maybe. But
I don't even know.
original, brave, swap, none, or do not use. Reason: this term perpetuates the stereotype of the noble, courageous savage, equating the indigenous male as being less than a man.
So
every fire
Caitlyn
truck
Jenner wasn't brave.
No, she wasn't. And every fire truck and first responder, any first responder vehicle out there now has to spray paint the shit off their vehicle. Any uniform of all of us, they have to get that shit out of here because we're not brave.
Whatever happened to home of the brave, land of the free, home of the brave?
Oh, it's home of the none or do not use.
Oh, fuck that shit.
All right. Original, man hours. Swap for person hours, effort hours, or labor time. Reason: this term reinforces male-dominated language. Fucking toxic masculinity. Where's Andrew Tate when you need him?
Well, that's like guys. Like when you refer to a group of people.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, humans. Actually, I think I
Some microaggression asserting your male dominance. Fuck off.
subconsciously
male dominance in the back of your throat.
I think subconsciously I got rid of that anyway because I started calling people humans. Unless that's fucking... Give it a year, that'll be...
I can't wait till everybody... I hope I see everybody on this list, because when I walk into a group of people, hey, what's going on, everybody? Everybody? How dare you discriminate against...
What if someone doesn't have a body?
What if somebody identifies as a cat? Well, I'm gonna fucking skin that pussy.
That's
First I'm gonna grab it, then I'm gonna skin it.
Original, American. Swap for U.S. citizen. Reason: this term often refers to people from the United States only, thereby insinuating that the U.S. is the most important country in the Americas, which it is actually made up of 42 countries.
You know what's fucked up? I've never once heard somebody say, oh, I'm an American, and me go, yeah, they got to be from the U.S. When I see what looks like a foreign person, says, well, I'm American. Oh, okay, you're a U.S. citizen? Yeah. Well, what America did you originate from? Central America, North America, South America? Oh, South America. Oh, okay, cool. Where'd you come from in South America?
There's on Twitter...
Fuck off, Stanford.
There was a
Whatever
Twitter thread talking specifically about this... this whole topic, and one of the first comments on it was talking about the American U.S. citizen thing, and it was a girl. She goes, well, I'm from Canada, and I'd rather not be called American because it's just synonymous with the United States. She goes, I'd rather just be called Canadian. White space, the original. Swap for empty space. Reason: assigns value connotations based on color. White equals good. An act which is subsequently racialized.
So, let me ask you something. When in the last 20 fucking years of our affiliation have you ever used the fucking phrase white space?
I've never...
Oh, when white space makes white better than black.
Well, every
what
time
about white noise? Nobody likes fucking white noise.
No, I like brown noise. I do. It's true. Every time you come over to the house, I'm like, want to come over to my white space? It's good, you know.
I guess I'm not allowed in there. It's based on color.
Listen, I need someone to clean the pool.
Trim my hedges. Bury a body. What? I'm not into that anymore, man.
Original, prostitute. Swap, person who engages in sex work. Reason? Using person-first language helps to not define people who just are by just one of their characteristics.
How about sex worker?
How about any of those is exactly one characteristic?
Hooker, soulless, prostitute, slut, whore, escort, fatherless daughter. Take your fucking pick.
Yeah, tomato. I mean, really.
Future med student, future law grad. All of these women or men are working their way through college.
I'm saying my way through college. Yeah. Original, killing two birds with one stone. Swap, accomplishing two things at once. Reason? This expression normalizes violence against animals.
Well, I guess we shouldn't call it threesome an Eiffel Tower because that's prejudice against French people. Wobbly H, that's racist against the alphabet. What the fuck? Spit roast? Oh, promotes violence on pigs.
You can fucking make up shit. Like, this is what I really think.
You can't use spit roast. You know, when you have one guy in a girl's vagina, bent over doggy, and one guy in her mouth, and they're spinning her. Yeah. You can't use spit roast. You can't use a wobbly H because that denounces other cultures that might not have the letter H in it. You can't use the Eiffel Tower because that's pointing negative imagery on French people.
Something like that.
Fuck, next is going to be you can't even say the shocker. 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink. Because that's derogative towards Vulcans.
Or what it'll say is... what it'll say is the shocker is like, it's too shocking of a word. It's too coarse. We don't want anyone having a trigger. Actually...
did you hear all those?
Wait. I didn't plan for this. Original. Trigger warning.
Oh, God.
Swap for content note. Reason? The phrase can cause stress about what's to follow. That's exactly the point I was just trying to make. Oh, additionally, one can never know what may or may not trigger a particular person. Hey, trigger warning. Don't say that.
I got one for you. Hold on.
Are you afraid or are you having an orgasm?
Two things. One, speaking of the shocker, did you hear about the other variations of that?
Speaking of the shocker, okay.
There's other variations apparently. There's the shocker.
Oh my God.
There's the spocker.
Like Omicron. Yeah.
Then there's the spocker shocker. What?
Well, I mean, why not?
Okay, and then here's the other thing. This is a good one. Come on, where is it? Read this meme.
There we go. So,
tell me why.
Yeah. It's a hamster with like the shocked look on his face.
Having a seizure.
And it just goes, I'm very scared of the Backstreet Boys. The therapist says, tell me why. And you could probably figure out the rest.
If anything, that gerbil looks more afraid like the one Richard Gere used. If Richard Gere can do it, I can too. I get undressed. I start to lube. Stephen Lynch, everybody.
Did we talk about Germany's raids in the last episode?
Yeah.
Did we talk about the hate speech raids?
Okay. Yeah, we did.
I can't remember.
I remember that.
I pulled some things over from the last one that I can't remember if we actually hit on or not.
Yeah.
That one, all right, that one. The other two, I know we didn't. There was the $1.7 trillion bill from government funding that they signed over a couple weeks. It was December 16th or something like that. They signed over. Or maybe it was before that. U.S. House passes $1.7 trillion bill funding federal government through September.
Oh.
This is the one where the takes them through the rest of the fiscal year. I mean, if they didn't sign it, then they would have shut the government down, which... Oh, boy.
What's the difference between that and now?
I don't know. Legislation. Oh, overall, the legislation provides $772.5 billion for non-defense discretionary programs and $858 billion in defense funding. It also contains $44.9 billion for Ukraine assistance. Shocker. And the Spocker shocker. That one's a Spocker shocker.
Yeah.
And $40 billion.
One in our pink and 3 in our stink.
And
holy
natural
fuck.
defense recovery. Yeah, passed 225 to 201. Just in time to beat the midnight deadline to avoid a partial shutdown for federal agencies.
Jesus fucking Christ. Oh!
It's not...
So did you hear? They're not building, building, cleaning the wall in Arizona. AOC?
Mm-hmm.
The one that she's always the White House. Like, listen, we never.
She's the young one there that came up in New York City.
Yeah. So one of the reporters said, why are we, we're building a wall in Arizona. Hold on.
On the border.
Yeah, how do you spell it? AOC?
AOC.
Oh, I thought it was her. Okay, whatever.
No. Yeah, it's her initials.
No,
Alexandria-
not her, not AOC. Hold on, I got this.
Karine Jean-Pierre.
Yes, that's her. Hold on, I got this.
The one that's fucking awful at her job.
Yeah, you can say that again. Come on, load up.
Well, it's nice to know that we're just spending
Sorry.
more, almost $2 trillion more. Once again, just making money up.
Yeah, pretty much. Come on, where
Making
the
more
fuck
money
is
now.
it? Where is it?
So what they said, they're
Oh,
cleaning.
here we go.
A majority of Americans now say that price increases are causing them financial hardship that is more.
Maybe it was this guy though. Where is she?
He fucking constantly grills
Than at the start of the year. So where's
the press secretary.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And it's funny because no matter who, no matter who's up there, they get so flustered.
Oh yeah. Well, basically, they talk. He asked her outright.
Are you a fucking idiot?
No, he asked her about them building the wall in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, "We're not building a wall." She goes, "We're cleaning up the mess from the previous administration." He goes, "Okay, so you're not building the wall. What are you doing?" "We're cleaning up the mess, but you are filling it." And fucking Christ, oh my god!
There's pallets and shit. There's like millions of dollars of equipment and supplies down there. Pallets of concrete or bricks and shit like that. They just left down there. I heard rumor that the Biden administration was going to complete the wall. This was like a year and a half or so after the fact they had shut everything down.
All right, hold on. Here we go.
I think it was right after.
Why is the Biden administration building a border wall in Arizona?
So we're not finishing the wall. We are cleaning up the mess the prior administration left behind in their failed attempt to build a wall. And I just want to be very, very clear here. On day one, we returned the money, the $8 billion the prior administration took from our military. We gave that back to the military for military families, for schools, for bases. That's what that money was being used. That's what it was taken away from. And so again, what we're doing is cleaning up the mess that the prior administration has done.
But President Biden, when he was a candidate, said there will not be another foot of wall constructed in my administration.
Yeah.
So what changed?
We are not finishing the wall.
We're building a new one.
Walls work in that part of Arizona. Is this the administration trying to get migrants to cross somewhere else, like in Texas? What is the plan?
We are not finishing a wall. We are cleaning up the mess that the prior administration made. We are trying to save lives. This is what the prior administration left behind that we are now cleaning up.
It's just a circle conversation.
Is this
We are not finishing the wall.
by filling in, finishing,
We are not finishing the wall.
by filling in? Is this racist? Because in 2019, when the former guy was proposing a wall, you said that it was his racist wall. So how is this any different? I'm just having a hard time understanding how is this any
I'm
different.
not even sure how you get to your first question, to this question that you just asked me. I will say this: a border wall. I'm answering your question. A border wall is ineffective use of taxpayer dollars. So it's ineffective of taxpayer dollars that actually went to the military. That the last.
But a wall is
the
being
prior
built.
president took from the
So,
military, which took away
If they're
from-
building a wall, it's a new wall.
They're not finishing the
we're
wall
not-
the previous administration built.
No.
No, because their wall that
Their
they're
wall
building
is a foot
isn't
behind.
racist.
It says that they build a wall. It says not racist wall. That's something you see in fucking Futurama or something. We're not finishing the wall. We're building our own. It's going to be even bigger wall. It's going to be a better wall.
Our wall's not racist because it's bigger and it's whiter.
And it's, I was just going to say, and it's white. Which is an incorporation of all colors in the spectrum.
Correct.
And it equals white. Oh, fuck. Oh, jeez Louise.
How do you say her name again? Jean-Pierre?
Kareem Jean-Pierre.
Kareem. She's got a Kareem-y voice. Kareem Jean-Pierre. KJP. Jean Gerard.
Jean Gerard. What was that from?
Talladega Nights. Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
Oh, yeah, Jean Gerard. Ricky Bobby.
I saw the Highlander. It was shit. Asshole.
Did we talk about armed robots?
No.
No. All right, well, apparently. I think this is in California. From the USA Today. Sometime today. Oh, it denied me.
It's already redacted.
San Francisco, USA Today, San Francisco police robots are armed with explosives.
Robo Boom. RoboCop goes to Robo Boom.
Yeah, they took down the article.
Jesus.
No matter.
Fucked up people.
It was when I first heard it, I'm like, didn't we? I mean, Terminator. There's so many instances where this is just not good, not a good idea.
RoboCop.
Seriously, Ed. And RoboCop. That's what the fucking giant thing was called.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Let's look it up. San Francisco police robots.
Well, you do that.
Here we go, from the New York Times. I bet you they changed the title of the article. That's why Oh, here it is. Oh, it's an update. Okay. San Francisco backtracks a plan to allow police robots to use deadly force. There's probably enough people went, hey, that's a fucking bad idea.
Anybody ever heard of Skynet?
Yeah.
San Francisco supervisors voted Tuesday to put the brakes on a controversial policy that would let police use robots for deadly force. The Board of Supervisors voted unanimously to explicitly ban the use of robots in such fashion for now.
It's a vote, vote 8-3. Supporters said that the measure would allow the police to use robots with deadly force in extreme circumstances, such as when mass shooter or terrorist is the focal danger. But an outpouring of criticism from those who said the move would be too dangerous appeared to have changed the supervisors' minds before the second required vote, which typically mirrors the first. The reversal was a rarity in the Bay Area politics.
What the fuck?
It was a vote 8-3. So, so after, like, much like when I first put it down, but we didn't have time to cover it the last show, I was like, what? What? Apparently, there's a whole bunch of people across the states, especially in San Francisco, that unanimously went, what? Listen, we're not going to arm them with guns. They're just going to have plastique. There's nothing that could possibly go wrong here.
No, because we've all watched Terminator 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 10, 12.
I mean, that's the first thing I thought, because verbatim, with RoboCop, with Ed. What was it, Ed 2000 or whatever the hell his name was?
Yeah.
Ed something or other. Ed 1000 or whatever. That's what I thought of. It was like, so we're going to have a fucking robot that's just going to go haywire and shoot the whoever it is when they're up in the office. Is like, look at my creation. It's great. This is going to be, there's going to be a ton of them on the street. And then he goes haywire and just blows the shit out of them out the fucking office.
Well, no, if you remember, it was in RoboCop. What happens is he goes, go ahead. point a gun at him. He points the gun at him.
Yeah.
He's
And
like,
then he didn't like shut down.
citizen, put down the firearm, or I will use deadly force in 3. So he was like 2. When he starts running,
Yeah.
and then there was
Oh shit.
have you seen the new RoboCop?
No.
Enjoyable.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
There's been like half a dozen times I've been like, maybe I'll watch it.
watch it
I don't.
because they definitely modernized it. There's no Red, which is unfortunate.
No.
Red was the shit.
He was good. Good
He was
villain.
a great villain. Well, in the new one of the robots that they're over in like Saudi Arabia, Afghanistan, Iraq, Kuwait,
course
whatever.
they
And they're showing them do like patrols and stuff, and the one
See,
kid
at least in this one they do it right. It's like put them out there, so if they go haywire,
well, that's what I said. They end up showing like when they're showing the news report, whatever. A kid comes up to the robot with a knife, and the robot says, "Drop the weapon," and the kid doesn't. So the robot opens fire. So that they kind of
made it a humanitarian crisis thing, or
they kind of exploited the humanitarian crisis, but also still got the whole these robots can't differentiate, or these could go haywire.
right.
Yeah,
I'll have to watch it, I guess.
it's.
No,
I liked it. I personally liked it. They didn't bulk the suit. They transformed the suit too much. You'll understand.
RoboCop suit.
Yeah, no,
I mean, just from the movie poster, it looks slimmed down. It looks like
It's definitely-
Iron Man's nanotech.
okay.
suit.
So, but when you
Like
see
heavily influenced by that.
when you see it, like him walking with it and everything, the whole they have those sound effects, which is great, very nostalgic. But like when you see like the black paint job move to the silver paint job, you get a very Transformer after Transformer sort of visualization.
Why are you two-toned?
Like, so if you remember in the original RoboCop, he was very curved, very smooth.
Yeah.
Very
It was
straight.
very 1980s futuristic.
In this one, very angular, very jutty, but cool.
I'll have to take a look at it, maybe. Maybe. If I get to. What did I just saw something. Oh, I just
Butt stuff?
sat down and watched the full, which, as I was watching it, I was like, I've seen this movie partway through, Interstellar.
Oh, good
I
movie.
watched that one, like, I think I caught
With
that
Matthew
one,
McConaughey.
the end, or like the middle. I saw the middle of it. I never saw the beginning or the end, so I actually sat down and watched that one, but
I thought it was a good movie
yeah,
because
it was good.
we have no clue what happens in a black hole. That movie kind of just gives you an idea on what it could possibly be.
Yeah, probably nothing like it, but interesting.
But
Very
you-
interesting
we
concept.
don't know.
No, but it was an interesting concept.
Yeah, that was cool. Evil Dead Rises. I watched that trailer.
Did I send that to you?
You sent me the link to the
Yeah.
trailer releasing soon. I've watched the full trailer.
I haven't seen the full trailer. I did, although there's, I guess, a possible leak of the new Godzilla movie, Godzilla
Re-
and Kong, or the villain. And
No.
no, it's it. I don't know, but apparently the leak is it's going to be Space Godzilla, which I was like, fucking right. Like I got stoked for that one. But that's from 1995. You have to look that one up.
No, I remember that one. And a good way they could tie it in is obviously
We just went super geek. We went from politics to geek.
King
so-
Ghidorah was from outer space. What's to say our planet was the only planet with Titans?
Well, what it is like in the original, like Space Godzilla was formed from like Biollante. Remember Biollante
Yeah.
from 1989? When Godzilla destroyed Biollante, or when Biollante pretty much like disintegrated itself, it disintegrated and floated up into the atmosphere and out into space. Well, the story is some of the cell of Biollante was created from cells of Godzilla. And what happened is the cells from Biollante went out, fused to these whatever crystals out in space, and the Godzilla cells fused with those crystal cells, and then formed Space Godzilla.
I'm gonna have to borrow all your Godzillas again.
That,
Yeah, I remember that one.
yeah. So that it's a possible leak that's going to be the villain. It's like fucking right. And then I also heard a second rumor where it's going to be Mecha King Ghidorah, which they've also done that. But I'm like, I don't know if I want King Ghidorah again. Like, we already had them, and it was done awesome.
I was gonna say,
Like,
start to finish, I think they should leave that
I'd
off.
rather have either Space Godzilla, it's like I'm okay with that, or another brand new kaiju like the Muto in the first one, 2014, like a brand new thing. Or there was also Gigan, which I'm like, oh,
Was that the guy, like the guy looking one?
Well, Gigan was the one that's got like the claw, like fucking arms. And
No, who
it's
was
got the buzzsaw chest and all that shit?
Who was the one that looked like a space ranger?
Oh, Jet Jaguar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a. I think that was like a knockoff of.
But he's the one. He also fought
Ultraman.
Godzilla.
Oh, he teamed with the Godzilla.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, so did Mothra.
Yeah, Mothra's been on both, like against and with, but yeah, that's I heard that there were that was possibly going to be the next thing. Anyway, the last thing I want to cover, I'm going to go off on the geek stuff. We should just do an episode one day, just like a break episode, and just fucking talk about geek shit.
Just geek the fuck out.
Well, we should do it soon. Like, we just talk about guy geek shit before guys are no longer on Earth.
Next episode, folks.
Because the Y chromosome is vanishing. ScienceAlert.org. The Y chromosome is slowly vanishing. A new sex gene could be the future of men. The sex of of human and other mammal babies is decided by a male determining gene on the Y chromosome. But the human Y chromosome is degenerating and may disappear in a few million years, leading to our extinction unless we evolved a new sex gene. Maybe that's what all this transitioning thing is. We're trying to force a new sex gene because they know that we are on our way out. Good day, America. Good day, world. It was a fun one. It was a good ride. Mostly for the ladies. But we're on our way out. The good news is two branches of the... Oh, wait. Two branches of rodents have already lost their Y chromosome and have lived to tell the tale.
Oh, Jesus.
A new paper in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science shows how the spiny rat has evolved a new male determining gene. In humans, as in other mammals, females have two X chromosomes. Males have a single X and a puny little chromosome called Y. The names have nothing to do with their shape. The X stood for unknown. The X chromosome is about 900 genes that do all sorts of jobs related to sex. But the Y chromosome, few genes, about 55, and a lot of non-coding DNA, simple repetitive DNA that doesn't seem to do anything. But the Y chromosome packs a punch because it contains an all-important gene that kickstarts male development in the embryo at about 12 weeks. The disappearing Y. Most mammals have an X and Y chromosome similar to ours. The X is with lots of genes, the Y with an SRY plus a few others. The system comes with problems because the unequal dosage of X genes in males and females. How did such a weird system evolve? Surprising finding that Australia's platypus has completely different sex chromosomes, more like those of birds.
I don't understand what all this science babbles about. We all know God created us. He won't let us die.
This suggests the platypus, the XY pair, is just an ordinary chromosome with two equal members. This suggests the mammal X and Y were an ordinary pair of chromosomes not that long ago. In turn, this must mean the Y chromosome has lost 99 to 55 active genes over the 166 million years that humans and platypus have been evolving separately. I think this is implying that we are related to platypus. There's a conspiracy theorist that says manatees, I think, are related to humans, and manatees are the evolutionary split from those the lost city of Atlantis, and the people that I just heard.
Why couldn't it be walruses?
I just heard
they have 4 to 5 foot long dicks.
At least they have fucking awesome stashes.
I pointed to my other mustache.
Oh, yeah. So the evolutionary split between the Atlanteans, and we went to the humans, and then
manatees.
Walruses. The stash walrus and the 4-foot penises.
Did you know that a sperm whale's penis, a blue whale's penis, is 12 inches in diameter and can be upwards of 10 foot long? That's a beef bus.
Yeah, I know. You know the human centipede? Well, bye.